This is our next progression for teaching the long jump penultimate step. I'm going to show you utilizing Sydney, one of my emerging elite high-performance jumpers. Sydney's about a 26-foot jumper looking to perhaps compete at the Olympic level. And we're going to show him doing some work where he's going to demonstrate how we teach the movements and into progressively more aggressive step and then attack through the board. We do this from the grass, and then we'll take this onto the pit, obviously, as well. So we start off teaching the athlete how to load the body and to stage the leg in a position where he's angled back at approximately 30 degrees. So, and the reason why, because we've seen that when we look at athletes that are actually jumping in real life, they tend to be at about 30 degrees or so when they take off in an actual meet. Now, obviously, we're at a position here where the athlete is not moving, and so there's a static position here, and it won't be, exactly mimicking a dynamic horizontal, velocity type of approach. But we want to establish that position nonetheless. We want a tall position. Head and chest are up. Vision will be out past the horizon, as you can see here, and the arms are staged tight, because we want to be sure that when we make the movement up off the ground that the athlete swings the arms tightly as opposed to a big movement with the arms. So from there, obviously, because there's no run-up, the athlete will have to bend their legs and jump off. But in real life, when jumping, we want to minimize the amount of knee bend, if at all possible. But there will be some bend for this particular portion. We focus on a high thigh drive. We want to get the thigh, femur bone in this case, as you can see, is higher than parallel to the ground, as you can see. Toe is up, thigh is up, knee is up, and the athlete's posture is tall. Then from there, we move into a position where we have the athlete step back, and we term this the Groucho Step, and we actually have the athletes practice walking like Groucho marks. So we set it up here where the athlete is not quite leaned back so much. They're pretty much erect, but they're going to step through in a manner where they're going to lock the ankle at the bottom half of the body, as you can see here. The ankle's going to be locked. So normally when an athlete runs through, they're going to step back up and over, but in this position we want to take the takeoff leg through with a low foot recovery. So as you can see, the ankle will cross at the ankle as opposed to up and over the knee in a normal running stride. The athlete will then plant, and because again there's no real speed here, there will be some bend in the leg, but then they will then drive up. As you can see, the opposing arm is driven up, and the same side arm is driven back relative to the takeoff leg, relative to the swing leg, as you can see here. Then we take that and we're going to add one more step to it, and the athlete will take a step into the takeoff leg, and the athlete will consciously push down into the Groucho Step. To a long step, lock the ankle, roll through with a low foot recovery, step right to the board. Now we're a little closer to an actual takeoff because there is some speed. The knee bend will be very slight, and then the athlete will then drive up into a foot release position, as you can see here, up and through. The rhythm will be more of a tap-tap rhythm. So again, here the athlete's in a tall position as if they're running, as you can see here, and the hips will go down as the athlete consciously pushes down and leads into a flat, kind of a heel to toe rolling movement. Low foot recovery. They plant. Arms are swung quickly and driven up from there. Our last evolution is to put a little bit of a run behind it. We're not full speed yet, and in all actuality, it's going to take an athlete some time to adapt putting motion behind. We have them step back, take off from the non-dominant leg in a kind of a running position. As you can see here, he's running about half speed. And then when he gets to the dominant or his takeoff leg, he's going to push down like before. Low position, heel toe, low ankle recovery, as you can see from here. The ankle does not, again, it does not come back up and over the knee like a regular running stride, but instead goes right to the board, drops down, and now this is much more like a real takeoff where the athlete's leg angle is really high. And we'll see, he's probably here. I didn't get the angle correctly here, but he's probably in the 150, 160 range here. And that's about where he should be as far as takeoff. And then from there, we can then imitate the movement into a flight pattern from then. And then we'll take that and then put that on the track, or actually on the runway. And the athlete should be able to pretty much mimic and duplicate the movements that they would normally use in a regular long jump. And with more speed and with a more aggressive attack, should pretty much be able to finish out the jump into a proper landing and go from there. So that's how we teach it. So far we've had pretty good success with it. Hopefully you can use it with your athletes and have some success as well.